Tonight we'll be doing bananasfoster. I've already peeled a couple of bananas here, but for the last one, just take your knife and score it about halfway through, and then peel it back. These bananas are nice and super ripe. Figured it was time to do something with them before they went bad on us. Got a little bit of spot here, so we can take that off. Alright, so we're going to slice up the bananas here. These particular are fairly ripe, so I'm going to do fairly thick slices so they don't fall apart. But if you had a more of a greener banana, I wouldn't say green, but a less ripe banana, then thinner slices are perfectly fine. It's just a matter of how thick and how long you want to cook your bananas for before you are done with them. So I'm going to finish chopping this up, and we'll return when I've got it all this onto the butter. I am doing a half pound of butter and 3 bananas, and take the butter and cube it up. So first quarter it the long ways, and then flip it and quarter it again. And then this butter can go directly into the pan. The smaller you make the quarters or the cubes of the butter, the quicker that they will heat up in the pan. So that's ready to go. I'm going to melt this butter down, and we'll return when the butter's all melted. Alright, so the butter is in the pan, it's mostly melted. We are up on high heat. Next thing to put in is not the bananas, but some brown sugar. I'm going to make a nice sauce. And there will be a little bit excess of sauce here made, just because half a pound of butter is just a little bit too much for 3 bananas, but usually there's no complaints with the excess of sauce. So take the brown sugar in the butter, stir it about. Want to get all of that brown sugar dissolved. Be careful with this, it is nice and hot, and once the sugars start to melt, it will most certainly burn the heck out of you. I know from experience. Alright, as it looks here, we need a lot more sugar. So don't worry, quantities will be down in the description. Alright, time to turn back the heat to about 3/4 high, or 7 or medium high, whatever your range is. Alright, so we have some excess butter, but for the most part, it's pretty sugary. And this is about the time that we want to throw the bananas in. If your bananas are really ripe, like ours are, I would wait to throw the bananas in until the last possible minute. What you're really looking for here is a caramelizing of the sugar to the point where you're actually getting a decent boil. The boil occurs more so with the butter than the actual sugar, but the point still is that you don't want to overcook your bananas and have them become mush. Constant stirring is always required for this. With the sugar and the pan being as hot as it is, if you don't stir constantly, you will most certainly burn the sugar. Alright, you can start to see occasional bubbles here. That's the time that it is for us to throw our bananas in. Now again, stir constantly. Be a little bit more careful. Turn back the heat, actually. And honestly, we're going to turn it off because our heat, or residual heat, is quite enough to take care of these bananas. Because they are pretty much already ready to go. All we need to do is just coat them in the sauce, and they will heat up pretty nicely. Now, for safety wise, we don't normally keep the flame on for when we torch it, but if you are at an event like a buffet or something like that, chefs traditionally do keep the flame on, and they will push back. They'll put their alcohol in there, and then they'll push back and allow the flames to come up, and that's how they get the flambe. Personally, I don't, just because it's rather dangerous that way. I'm putting in about half a shot of 99 bananas and just a little drizzle of 99 whipped cream. I personally use a torch. You don't have to. You can use a lighter. It's perfectly fine. Let me turn the lights off so you can actually see what's going on here. Whoops. There. Now we can see what's going on. So, depending upon how much alcohol you want, or how little alcohol you want, would be how much blue flame you're willing to dissipate. So, personally, I don't like a lot of alcohol in there. You get the taste, and as long as all that blue flame is gone, you're really good. You don't really need to cook it, for a very long period of time. And then the little bit of sparkle that we saw in there, that was cinnamon and nutmeg. So that is bananasfoster, perfectly served over ice cream, usually vanilla or chocolate. This is cutting out the crap, and this is definitely not healthy, but it's tasty and it is crap free. So enjoy.